Hello, this is the T Alligator, and you're watching my first impressions of Secret World Legends. This is a re-release of The Secret World, an MMO made by Funcom back in 2012. Since then, they have released the game Conan Exiles on Steam, which met a very positive response and a very large number of sales. They took this money and they have spent a bit of time going back and investing into this game. We're now seeing it reincarnated in a free-to-play model. It was originally started out as a subscription-based game, went over to buy-to-play, and then we've moved on to a relaunch in a free-to-play model. The live Headstart started 1 hour and 35 minutes ago from when I'm recording this audio track. The footage you're seeing now is time-stamped in the top right corner while I was playing. This is the very first area, so there's nothing too heavy in the way of spoilers. However, if you are planning on playing it and you want to avoid every spoiler possible, please don't watch this and just prepare yourself to enjoy it. So, this is a complete standalone game. It is completely unrelated to The Secret World now. It is its own game. It contains all the same pretty similar content so far from what I've seen. There are a few reworked segments which are quite interesting to play so far, and I'm quite happy with. Considering the amount of people that have been taking part in the Headstart today, which was given to players who are legacy players of The Secret World, the servers don't seem to have suffered any instability. They have been up perfectly fine for the past hour, despite a very, very busy hub and very busy city. I'm currently playing a Templar, so my starting would have been in London. London was quite heavily populated, and we weren't seeing too many issues. When we reached the hub in Agartha, we were having a bit of an issue with the performance. There were a very large number of people there. However, generally speaking, the game's optimization is greatly improved over the first installment, or the previous version of the game, I should say. So, I just want to go over some of the points of the game as a standalone, and then discuss a little bit more in comparison to The Secret World and some of the changes that are in place, and my personal thoughts after experiencing these for the space of about an hour or 20 minutes, plus some beta time that I played previously last week. Now that the NDA has been lifted, I can have a bit more of a chat about that. So far the game seems, you know, perfectly functional. It's a pretty decent feel MMO. One of the main issues that I've taken with it that I'm, you know, not a particular fan of, and I'm going to be rebinding my keys, is the layout in which your actions are bound. You have an action bound to your left click, your right click, Q, 1, 2, 3, 4, and E. This is coming from the game which, it just, I don't know, it works on a builders and consumers sort of system. So you have a resource for each of your weapons. While your primary resources are recharging, as you can see on the screen at the bottom, there is a yellow bar and a purple bar. These are your resources for your mouse clicks. So left click depletes the yellow, and the right click will deplete the purple bar. While these are recharging, there is not much you can do. You pretty much have, at the moment, I have 2 spells on my bar, which is Q and 1, which feels very peculiar to play with. So I will be planning on changing that up. So the handling isn't too bad. There are some things I'd like to change, but it is changeable, which is nice. I found the reticule system a bit difficult to work with. In a game where we're talking MMO, so I've played a lot of tab target based MMOs, and when you're fighting a group of say 4 or 5 enemies, it becomes quite difficult to specifically target one. So at the moment, as you can see in the footage, I have completely disabled the reticule, as I found it both frustrating to have it above my head, but also over the shoulder I found the camera angle a bit funny. So I've been experimenting and playing without it enabled to start off with, at least until later game, until it becomes a requirement for the sake of accuracy. This just feels like a missed feature. I know it's a far cry from this game, but something like The Witcher 3 that has a very simple button that you'll press to select, sort of lock on to one character, like one enemy, so that you can actually focus your abilities, would be nice. I mean, the only one that really would matter is going to be your builders, because I'm playing a Magus, and your consumers consume all of your energy and are AoE. It will arc between the enemies, so it doesn't matter so much. It just bothers me a little that I can't specifically target one enemy with ease, especially in the starting area where a lot of the enemies are very fast moving. So all I'd really like to see was just some kind of option to make it just a little bit easier to select a target, because I can see it becoming quite an issue later on in the game. So I wanted to talk about a few of the mission types. I mean, at the moment we're mainly looking at a sabotage mission, which you've been watching me avoiding various avoiding traps, lasers and cameras that follow you. This style of mission are very regular through the game. There are a few styles of mission. We're looking at main missions, which are the main story missions for each area. You have one main mission. Well, okay, let me rephrase this. We have one story mission, which is your main overarching mission for the area. You have one main mission. This can be any of a few types. It can be a standard main mission, which usually is a few stages of go here, kill this, collect this, for example. You have a sabotage mission, which is what you're watching at the moment, where it requires some kind of avoidance of, say, enemies, cameras, traps, that kind of thing. And we have the investigation type missions, which are one of my personal favourites. These are generally very challenging missions. Well, initially they're not so bad, but they do get very, very challenging in a very good way. I don't want to talk about them too much, because some of them are absolutely spectacular in the amount of thought and effort that has gone into designing the quests, which is something I personally love about this game. So, alongside your main mission, you then have 3 side missions, which are generally minor quests that maybe have 1 or 2 stages to them, either a delivery or helping someone. And that basically sets up your quests. We don't have an extensive quest log like you may see in other MMOs, which I quite like, because it keeps what you're doing very concise and you're not running all over the place for loads of different quests all the time. So I want to just quickly cover a few differences between The Secret World Legends and The Secret World, just as a bit of an update for people that may have played The Secret World and are not entirely sure about what's been changed or how it feels. So, Kingsmouth Town, which is where my character is at the moment, this place has seen a few changes. Not very many, not very significant. There is a few car crashes here and there. Other than that, not too much. Overall in the game, there has been a minorly noticeable, I would say, improvement in the actual textures used. There's not a great deal that's been changed there. Character creation has seen a nice update that I'm happy with. Speaking of which, one thing I'm not so impressed with at the moment, but I can kind of understand why, is the limitation to 1 character slot. To purchase a second, you're going to have to pay £7.99, which I believe will probably work out at about $10, possibly $10 to $12. Which, as someone who previously had The Secret World, where you are given 3 slots, it just seems like a bit of a pain. But again, I can understand their reasoning. Another update that we've seen is minorly better optimization for the graphics system and the lighting in this game. Some people will definitely know that when you're moving in and out of some areas, the game did like to chug like an old steam engine. This has been addressed a little bit, so there's been some minor chugging in the video that you've been watching, which has been recorded at high settings. Other than that, these are my first impressions, and I will be probably following up with this with another video coming in the next few days. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.